Hello YouTube, it's Tuesday, which means it's time for us to look at some books. Yes, those of you who know me well know that I'm a big Nick Hornby fan. Nick Hornby is one of my favourite authors. I've read High Fidelity more times than I'd like to admit, and I also really love A Long Way Down by him, which is a great novel. If you haven't read it, I strongly suggest it. Yes, so I was quite happy when I got home this weekend to find this on my dad's bookshelf. It's Slam by Nick Hornby. Yes, so I borrowed it, read it basically in one sitting. I read it mostly on the train back up to Nottingham the other day. I would have finished it in one sitting, but the train journey wasn't long enough basically, so I read the rest, so I just finished the rest of it. The story follows Sam Jones, who, given that he's 16, his life's actually going pretty well for a 16-year-old. He gets on well with his parents, he has a great girlfriend. Yeah, so his life's going well until he gets his girlfriend pregnant, which is sort of where the story really gets going in earnest. It follows, obviously, the story of how Sam and Alicia, his girlfriend, cope with the teenage pregnancy, how their parents react, basically how a 16-year-old copes finding out that he's about to be a dad. And clearly he doesn't cope very well, is sort of the basic premise for the story. The story is very stylistically written. It's not just a straightforward narrative at all. It flashes backwards and forwards throughout time quite frequently, and you're never really sure what's actually going on and what is purely inside Sam's head, because there is a lot of it that sort of, he'll go to bed one night and he'll wake up and he'll think he's in the future, and you're not really sure if he's dreaming it or if it's actually real. It's a really interesting plot device because it disorients you as a reader, and basically it gives you the same feeling of not really knowing what's going on that Sam himself is feeling in the novel at these points. So yeah, that's a really interesting way of going about it. The relationship between Sam and his mum, especially in the novel, is really interesting. His mum had him when she was 16 and had basically brought him up his whole life to say that, you know, teenage pregnancy was wrong, that she'd ruined her life having him and that he should never do it. And then of course he accidentally does. Basically it suggests that there's some sort of perpetuity to it, and that no matter what, this is going to be some sort of endless cycle. It suggests that no matter how much Sam tries not to become his parents, the more inevitable it seems that he's actually going to become them. Yeah, which is a really interesting concept, and one that I think the novel does well to explore as it goes along. So yeah, I would strongly suggest picking this up if you get the chance. Either, obviously, if you want to buy it, or if you just want to pick it up from your local library. Local libraries are awesome, and everybody should join their local library. If they're not, I can't understand why anyone would ever not be a member of a library. So yes, yeah, you should try and pick this up. It's a really good read. It's a really fast read. It's only like 200 something pages, and yeah, as I say, I read it in one sitting on a train journey, so that sort of tells you how easy a read it is. Yeah, that's about it for me for now. Tomorrow is Wildcard Wednesday, so I still haven't had any really interesting punishment ideas for the fact that I missed last Tuesday's video. So if you have any punishment ideas, or anything, any challenges, or anything you want to see me do tomorrow, post down there in the comments, and I will try and do one of those. Otherwise, I will come up with something myself, and it won't be so much of a punishment. I'll just come up with some sort of challenge and I'll do that. I don't know what it will be yet, but yeah, we'll figure that out when we get that far. So yes, doing something or other, I will see you tomorrow.